A video shared today shows how Ukrainian troops lets an operation by a drone, UAV operators from the National Guard Brigade, once again demonstrated their prowess and precision on the battlefield. Operators of the brigade, Ukrainian launched a precision strike in the positions of Russian troops detected trenches in Kursk forest during their armed movements in the occupied territory of Ukraine. The strike demonstrated the high effectiveness of the use of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, in modern warfare. In the video footage, it is clearly visible how a Ukrainian drone operator unit detected the presence of a number of Russian personnel moving in open terrain carrying weapons. After coordinating, the Spartan UAV operators immediately targeted the enemy's position and launched a strike that hit the target. The operation took place in an area that was being closely monitored by Ukrainian forces, as the enemy was increasingly daring to infiltrate the defense area. In other recordings, Colombian fighters stormed a Russian trench network near Ukraine's border, clearing bunkers with drone support, grenades, and close-quarters combat. Here, Colombian volunteers in the Ukrainian army launched a well-planned and decisive attack across the border to put an important position under their control. By doing so, they are not only establishing control in the area, but also sabotaging Russian offensive efforts into Sumy Oblast. Recently, Ukrainian units have initiated precise offensive operations in the border region near the Russian village of Novy Put, strategically situated between Tyotkino and the areas where Russia has infiltrated Sumy Oblast. The purpose of these targeted raids is clear: to prevent Russia from launching additional offensives, which would not only alleviate the Ukrainian pressure on Tyotkino, but also threaten Sumy's defenses from the north. Ukraine's tactical approach in this critical area consists of a threefold strategy. Firstly, their goal is to systematically reduce Russian manpower, weakening the enemy's frontline strength. Secondly, they aim to neutralize Russian artillery, depriving ground troops of crucial fire support. Lastly, Ukraine is conducting surgical operations that, though seemingly small in scale, yield strategic results far exceeding their immediate battlefield significance. In line with this strategy, Ukrainian drones recently identified and coordinated a precision airstrike against a Russian troop deployment area deep in Kursk Oblast. Released footage and prior intelligence confirm the destruction of a Russian airborne company-sized formation. By specifically targeting such elite units, Ukraine seeks to disrupt Russian capabilities that provide coordination and rapid response support, severely diminishing Russia's ability to launch cohesive offensive or defensive operations. Complementing this, Ukrainian forces have intensified efforts to dismantle Russian artillery. Notably, Ukrainian drones successfully targeted a Russian 152mm self-propelled artillery system, the Tu-S-43 Malva, with a precision-guided Darts kamikaze drone. Eliminating such artillery pieces weakens the enemy's firepower, leaving Russian ground troops exposed and vulnerable to Ukrainian raids, and accelerates Russia's attrition. However, most remarkable was the recent direct action assault involving Colombian volunteers serving within Ukrainian units. These volunteers, with extensive combat experience and training in the Colombian armed forces, were instrumental in clearing Russian forces entrenched within a small forested area near the border. Despite its modest size, this wooded patch, surrounded by open fields, offers significant tactical advantages, granting control over the surrounding territory to whoever holds it. The assault unfolded with meticulous coordination. Ukrainian drone operators provided real-time aerial surveillance, directing the Colombian unit to Russian defensive trenches and bunkers concealed within the forest. Leveraging their expertise in stealth infiltration, the Colombian soldiers approached unnoticed, initiating close-quarters combat. Suppressing Russian defenders within their bunkers, the Colombians methodically cleared each position using grenades and explosives, finally securing the main trenches after an intense battle. Following this decisive victory, the Colombian-Ukrainian force proudly displayed captured Russian equipment, underscoring their success. Meanwhile, this position's tactical value is significant. Its defensive potential is enhanced by interconnected tree lines and nearby settlements offering concealed ground lines of communication for Ukrainian troops. Furthermore, the location is strategically beneficial due to its clear lines of fire, forcing any counterattacking Russian units into predictable and lethal kill zones, or right out into open fields. All this means that should Russian commanders decide to retake this forest patch, guarding the far eastern flank of Tiapkino, they would have to expend considerable resources, troops, time, and armor to retake it, only to find Ukrainian forces will have likely withdrawn before succumbing to bombardments, effectively forcing Russia to destroy a potential staging ground. Overall, this operation, conducted by Colombian volunteers, exemplifies Ukraine's broader strategic intent along the Sumy-Kursk border region. Ukrainian forces carry out numerous such raids, continuously forcing Russia to allocate resources over a larger area, which in cumulative effect significantly delays enemy operations and drains their offensive capabilities. Collectively, these actions ensure that Russian forces remain bogged down, unable to effectively support or expand their ambitions against Sumy, thereby safeguarding critical Ukrainian positions and significantly undermining Russia's objectives. Meanwhile, Russia is not interested in a peace deal, because the Kremlin is planning a major summer offensive that will take by force Ukrainian territory it might otherwise have to give up at the negotiating table, according to Ukrainian and independent military analysts. The most likely scenario is increasingly intense assaults by Moscow's troops in multiple sectors along the front, but most observers question whether the Russian army will be able to defeat Ukraine's armed forces, as Moscow seems to think it can.